The Knik River Valley in southern Alaska, an area of untamed natural beauty, overlooked by the majestic Chugach mountain range. Its most famous feature is the spectacular 45-kilometer-long Knik Glacier.
All set, Stuart. Take the other strut, Gary.
In nearby Palmer, two friends are getting ready for a sightseeing flight to the glacier.
Okay, clear on this side.
Taking the pilot's seat is Dave Akers, a veteran flyer with thousands of hours under his belt.
I've been flying aircraft since 1974. It's rewarding, it's challenging. I really love to fly.
Man, this is what I'm really gonna miss.
Texan Gary Knoll came north 2 years ago to work in Alaska's oil industry and quickly became firm friends with fellow outdoorsman Dave.
Really appreciate this, Dave.
We went out and did a lot of sightseeing together. We both had a mutual admiration for the outdoors. I would just jump at every opportunity I had to go fly with him.
I really haven't known Gary all that long, but, you know, sometimes you just click.
Dave's been teaching Gary the basics of flying, but this is their last lesson for a while. Gary and his family are returning home to Texas.
Okay, Gary, ready to go?
Let's do it.
The 80-kilometer round trip should take no more than 2 hours. Dave and Gary plan to be back before dusk.
We were in just real remote scenery. No power lines, no roads, no human intervention in the land at all.
Alaska is just beautiful. It's called the last frontier, and it truly is the last frontier. There's just, you can get away from civilization very easily up there.
The weather stays fine as they track the river southeastwards. And after an hour, they reach their destination, the stunning Knik Glacier.
It's probably some of the most magnificent scenery that I can relate to. And I've seen a lot of country in my life.
Time's up, Gary.
Eager to land the plane while it's still daylight, Dave turns for home.
And as we headed back towards the airport,
Hey, Dave, look over there.
I remember glancing over to my right shoulder and seeing this mouth of this valley just opening up to our right there.
Let's go check it out.
Dave has never noticed this valley before.
Hey, come on, there might not be no next time.
Okay.
Intrigued, he descends to take a closer look. But what Dave doesn't know is that this is a notorious spot where over a dozen planes have crashed before.
I had a lot of trust in the airplane and a lot of trust in my ability. Just wanted to kind of get a feel for the environment.
15 minutes later, Dave starts his climb out.
The valley was back behind us. I remember Dave just giving it full throttle.
We don't seem to be going up.
I did a quick instrument scan and noticed that I was going down at 200 feet a minute. I thought, something's not right. I immediately knew we were in a downdraft.
The aircraft is caught in a column of rapidly descending cold air. Its 145 horsepower engine can't generate enough lift to overcome the powerful downward force. The plane is now plummeting towards the ground at over 10 meters per second.
I needed to keep my wings level and get my airspeed as low as possible because we were going to impact. I had no choice but to accept that.
I'll never forget him looking at me and saying, "We're gonna crash." The impact was tremendous.
Just loud, and I thought, oh no, what have I done?
Just feel the plane skidding and sliding.
And then a big noise, and then the lights went out.
After skidding for 30 meters, the plane has come to rest. Over 1,200 meters up a remote mountainside.
One of my first thoughts was, here I am covered in blood. I had a hard time focusing my eyes.
Miraculously, both men have survived the crash. But Dave appears to be unconscious.
I look around and I see Dave laid back in his seat and his eyes are just rolled up in his head. I'm thinking, man, this is not good.
Dave, you hear me?
I immediately start yelling at him and trying to get his attention.
Dave, talk to me, man.
He was incoherent.
But their injuries are not the only problem.
Dave, we gotta get out.
Gasoline was just pouring out.
The force of the impact has ruptured the plane's fuel tanks.
Get the door.
The wreck could catch fire and explode at any moment.
Come on, man.
Gary must get his injured friend to safety.
Go! Go!
I'm pulling and tugging on him and trying to get him out of the plane.
Come on!
He's not responding.
Wake up!
I didn't have time to think, oh, are we gonna die or whatever.
Come on, man.
I just knew we gotta get away from the plane.
Come on.
Just kept yelling at him, come on, Dave, we gotta move, we gotta get out of here.
Gary finally manages to drag Dave clear of the wreckage and out of danger.
And the next thing I knew, I'm staring at the tundra. I recall thinking that we're two very lucky people to be alive.
Against all odds, Dave and Gary have survived the crash, but both have sustained multiple injuries.
I remember having a lot of pain up in my right chest and shoulder area. And then I looked up at Gary, and he had a pretty good gash in his forehead.
He's gonna look good. I'm okay.
Gary doesn't know it, but he has a serious skull fracture. Dave has broken 2 ribs and fractured his collarbone.
We needed to get some help quick, but nobody knew where we were at. I immediately started to feel guilty for what I had done.
Their unplanned detour means they're well off the usual flight path, and they've left their mobile phones back at the airfield. Their last hope is the plane's high-frequency radio. But to reach it, means braving the fuel-soaked fuselage.
The gasoline was still just pouring out of the plane, and we just determined we had to take a chance.
Gary grabs vital emergency gear, while Dave checks the radio. A single spark could ignite the fuel, turning the wreck into a lethal fireball.
I reached over to the master switch. I turned on the radio to see if there was anything there. There wasn't any power. It was just dead.
It's a devastating blow. Out here, it could take weeks for rescuers to find them. Now there's only one option left. They must walk off the mountain while they're still strong enough.
So we gathered up everything we had.
The men decide to head for the Kinnick River, where they hope to hit a logging road. But they set off woefully ill-equipped to survive in the harsh Alaskan wilderness.
You reckon I ought to get a jacket? Ah, don't worry. We'll be up and back before you know it.
I was dressed in my shorts, t-shirt, my tennis shoes on. We just thinking we're gonna go out for a quick sightseeing trip, but it's not the way to be dressed when you're out in the wilderness of Alaska.
An inventory of the bag they salvaged from the plane reveals little by way of supplies.
He had a little emergency bag that had some peanut butter, some bandages, some tarps, some old towels, a couple of sleeping bags. It was pretty limited, but we were able to utilize some of the things in it. Before we started down the hill, I made a sling for Dave's arm.
Sorry about this. We gotta put a sling on this thing. Okay. Easy. Better? Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Then I tore a towel in half and got the bleeding on my forehead stopped.
But Dave and Gary are taking an almighty risk. They've crashed in an area with the largest brown bear population in North America. Often weighing in at over 300 kilos and standing at over 2 meters tall. The native brown bear is a fearsome predator, capable of ripping through flesh and bone. And they can smell blood up to 30 kilometers away.
Here I am covered in blood. Dave is injured, and we're in bear country with no firearm.
With 40 kilometers to cover to the nearest settlement, their chances of survival are slim.
I would estimate we probably traveled 2.5 miles away from the plane.
You all right?
The going was so tough, and Dave was hurting.
Dave's smashed rib cage makes every movement searingly painful.
The pain was pretty intense, so at that point, I needed to rely on Gary's direction.
Here, above 1,000 meters, nighttime temperatures can drop below freezing. And as the sun begins to set, both men start to feel bitterly cold.
We're looking for ways to stay warm. So we made some makeshift ponchos.
Yeah.
The grueling climb saps what little strength Dave has left. And now Gary's in trouble too.
I don't feel good.
I'm thinking something weird is going on here.
Come on, Gary, we gotta keep going.
Man, this is really strange. But I knew we had to keep on going.
What you doing? It's this way.
It's this way.
And he's going, why are we going south?
I promise you, it's this way.
I've normally got a great sense of direction, but I think in the injuries to my forehead were beginning to take a toll.
Gary's growing confusion is a worrying symptom of his fractured skull and severe concussion. Up to this point, he's taken the lead. But now, he realizes that it's his turn to rely on Dave.
At this point, I decided to follow Dave's lead. I mean, he seemed to be thinking clearly.
Gary needs urgent medical attention. The search efforts continue. But as the friends' unplanned detour took them way off the usual flight path, the search doesn't extend to where they're stranded. "24 hours after the crash, Dave and Gary still haven't reached the Connect River, their route back to civilization.
I gotta rest.
Then, Gary catches sight of something through the trees.
And then I can remember seeing what I thought was a hunter. Thought, man, that's odd. It's not even hunting season.
Dave! Look!
Gary, what is it?
I thought I saw a hunter.
Gary, there's nothing there.
At this point, I'm starting to understand that Gary's operating in some sort of a reduced mental capacity.
Gary's erratic behavior is worrying Dave. For the first time, he realizes that his friend's head injury could be life-threatening.
Watching Gary go through that, it increased my feelings of guilt for having caused the accident in the first place. It gave me a drive to want to do everything I could to make sure that we could get to some help quick.
The friends' hike to safety just became a race against the clock. Dave pushes on, determined to get his friend the medical help he so desperately needs.
I turned around and there was no Gary. I thought, how can that be? He was just here. You know, where did Gary go?
Gary has disappeared. His worsening head injury makes him completely reliant on his friend for survival. Dave retraces his steps, fearful of what he might find.
I'm here, Gary. Come on.
When I called him and he didn't answer,
Come on.
and I called him again and he didn't answer, that was a very low moment.
If Dave can't find his friend, he will die.
All of a sudden, his whistle went off. He had tripped and fallen in the brush. It was just amazing to see Gary again.
I began to taper off, mainly due to the impact to my forehead, and I really began to hallucinate.
I'm here, Gary. Come on. Come on, Gary. Come on.
And I remember thinking at this point, man, I'm sure glad Dave was there with me, because I did realize that he was thinking right.
The two men are tantalizingly close to the Kinnick River, their route map to civilization.
Come on, keep coming.
But Gary's condition is getting worse with every step. He could slip into unconsciousness at any time.
But then I heard the sound of an aircraft.
Look!
It was headed right up towards us.
It's a de Havilland Beaver. It's red. I know the people who even operate the airplane. It's that close, I can see it.
Quick, quick, flare!
The plane is flying upriver towards the Kinnick Glacier. Gary and Dave scramble for the emergency flare they retrieved from their aircraft.
The timing just perfect. He was coming right at us, and I shot the flare off right in front of the plane.
And I'm thinking, it just doesn't get any better than that.
The flare started to illuminate. When it got to its crest, the plane banked away 180 degrees away from us. He never so much as saw it.
It was disheartening to me to see the plane fly off. There has to be the golden moment for a rescue, and it wasn't our golden moment.
It's a crushing blow. Gary's survival chances just took a major hit. The men stumble on, but now even the terrain seems to conspire against them.
It is just nothing but tangled sticks and brush. We literally couldn't see much more than about 50 feet. It's thick. It's really thick.
Gary, come on!
I could really just feel a sinking feeling coming on me. It would take 10 times the effort to just go 5 feet.
And now, Gary has completely lost his grip on reality.
I would see camps, campfires, tents. They would just vaporize. They would just vanish. There was nothing there.
As the light fades, Dave starts to feel desperate.
Come on, keep coming!
He's convinced that Gary won't survive another night out here.
Come on, Gary, get up! Keep coming, keep coming.
Watching Gary not move as fast, being quieter, that was a real sinking feeling. Quietly, I talked to God and prayed for our survival. And then I hear car engines. And I think, no, that's not car engines. Then I hear it again. And then I hear a big roar.
And then I see lights shining through the trees.
Look! Hey! Hey!
By some miracle, Gary and Dave have stumbled onto a logging road and a car full of holidaymakers.
They come running up to us there, and it was just the most awesome thing. I was very blessed to be alive.
After 33 hours alone in the wilderness, Dave and Gary are finally rescued.
We were going home. It's remarkable that we survived the crash. It's remarkable that we were in physical condition to be able to walk out. And it's remarkable that we did not have a physical encounter with a bear.
The men were rushed to hospital in Palmer, where doctors treated Gary's head injury. He was lucky not to need surgery, but it took him nearly 6 months to get over the effects of his fractured skull. An air search took 2 weeks to locate Dave's crashed plane. Despite his terrifying ordeal, Dave was back at the controls within 2 months.
I'll continue to fly. I'll continue to love aviation very much. I don't see my life without it.
In fact, Dave is renovating another aircraft to replace the one he lost on the mountain.
I'm fortunate to be able to go on as a pilot, and I'll encourage others, including Gary. I hope that he continues on to get his pilot's license.
The experience has made Dave and Gary's bond of friendship even stronger.
Me and Dave have grown really close. You don't go through an experience like that, somebody and survive and not come out of it a lot closer.
Could I have done this alone? I don't think so. I think that if it wasn't for Gary being there, that I wouldn't be here.
33-year-old Englishman Matt Briggs has started a new life on the other side of the world, in New Zealand. Recently divorced, he's ended up running the store he bought with his ex-wife.
A year of separation and divorce process behind me at this stage, and much more ahead. So it was a tough time, yes.
But in his heart, Matt is no shopkeeper. Trapped with a business he can't sell, hiking in the wilderness is a welcome relief from the daily grind.
I was stressing over the sale of the business. I had a lot on my mind, and a trip into the mountains was just what I needed to actually relax and enjoy life for a week.
Matt's arranged staff cover for a few days, while he heads off to his beloved mountains.
A long trip like that, you can forget the rest of the world's there for a week. It's great.
As an experienced hiker, Matt is meticulous in assembling his kit. He even leaves his new manager a note, detailing his route and when to panic if he fails to return.
That's enough of that, little dog.
Since Matt's divorce, his constant companion has been Little Dog, or LD.
Always close to Little Dog, or LD. We spend every day together.
Ready for a walk? Good boy. Come on. Come, little dog. Stay here.
She was a very, very timid dog when I got her. She was scared of me, she was scared of everything. But over the years, she's slowly got the confidence.
All right, come on. Off we go.
She is great company.
Matt's expedition will take him through remote mountain passes to the high-altitude ice plateaus of Mount Cook, New Zealand's highest peak.
It's just sheer rock walls, glaciers and water, and that's all that's there. And then that country was what I really wanted to see.
It's the kind of ambitious route that has earned Matt a reputation with the locals.
Many of my friends here call me the Mad Pom. Pom is an Englishman who's come over to Australia or New Zealand, and for my love of the mountains, I put the mad bit on the beginning.
On this hike, Matt will totally rely on his own resources and the supplies he can carry.
Away.
I always take food for the time that I'm planning on, and also throw in another kilo or so of rice, which I know will last me 6 days. I like to push myself and get into country that pushes my limits. This was going to be one of the most challenging trips that I'd been on.
In this pristine wilderness, there are no trails to follow, and Matt is in his element as he forges a path through the tough terrain.
That's a boy. Ready? Here we go. Come on.
There's a lot of very thick undergrowth in there, so a couple of days of what we call bush bashing, just forcing your way through the undergrowth. And then up into some high country, another couple of days up on rock and scree. I enjoy the solitude, I enjoy the space. I was in my element and I was loving it. It was great.
But after 3 days of battling to get above the tree line, Matt now finds himself in even tougher and more hazardous terrain.
It's a very steep and hard to find sort of place where you are taking care with every single step you take. You do not want to put a single foot out of place.
Up. Up.
Finally, at 1,600 meters up, Matt gets his first glimpse of his goal. The distant ice plateaus of Mount Cook.
I was elated, and I just got up a pass that I didn't know even if it was going to be possible. No people, no plants, no animals. Amazing country. It was just amazing. It just takes your breath away to look at that sort of country.
Nightfall is only a couple of hours away, and temperatures at this altitude can fall dramatically. Matt knows he must start heading for the valley below and find shelter.
And past, what felt like the most dangerous part of the trip.
Heading downhill is a relief, though not without hazards, and Matt picks his route carefully.
There's a rocky gully down below where I'm walking, with just sheer cliff walls and solid upturned rocks along its base.
Flushed with success, Matt feels he deserves a treat and decides to head for a hunter's cabin nearly 4 kilometers away in the valley below. These simple huts are scattered across the wilderness, available for anyone to use.
I'm thinking, yeah, it'd be quite nice to have a night in a hut rather than another night under canvas. I was looking down at the valley floor and really, not thinking too hard about where I was going.
But these mountains don't forgive the careless.
Found myself sliding down the hillside on my back, tried to dig my feet in, tried to dig my arms in, and think, yeah, we'll stop soon. Realisation dawns that I'm not slowing down, but I'm actually picking up speed. And then I realised that there's a cliff coming up. I'm not going to stop before I go over that.
With nothing to grab onto and no one to help him, Matt's momentum is about to plunge him into the void.
I did not expect to be alive when I hit the bottom.
As Matt plummets through the air, he's certain his life is over.
It felt like a very long time in the air between the top of that cliff and the bottom. In that time, an amazing amount of thoughts go through your head. It felt like an eternity. I don't remember the sensation of the impact. What I do remember most clearly is the thought, I'm still alive. It really was absolute surprise. Nothing felt too bad.
Matt experiences a wave of relief. It seems he's had a miraculous escape. But his adrenaline-soaked body is deceiving him. His wrist is smashed.
Where there used to be a straight wrist, there's now an inch dog's leg, and it doesn't look good at all.
And Matt's moment of horror doesn't end there. His ankle joint is pulverized. His tibia appears to be disconnected from his foot.
You can see the main bone from my leg trying to come out through the skin on the side of my ankle. It is pretty excruciating pain, the sort that gets into your gut and you actually feel physically sick.
But Matt's broken bones are suddenly the least of his worries. He realizes that he's lying in a fast-growing pool of blood.
There was obviously another serious injury somewhere, and I'm losing a lot of blood. I might not have very long left here.
Matt needs to find out where all the blood is coming from before he loses consciousness.
I start looking around. I find a gash across the back of my thigh. My finger's going up to the knuckle. It's that deep. It's gone straight through the muscle, and it looks like a piece of butchered meat.
Matt has no medical kit capable of sealing a massive wound like this, and has to improvise, using a thermal t-shirt.
Grabbed a thermal and jammed it into this hole I'd found in the back of my leg. Took about 10 minutes to stop the bleeding, and it was a terrifying 10 minutes.
Matt has just averted almost certain death, but he has a smashed wrist and ankle, and is in excruciating pain. He knows he needs medical help, and fast. Then he suddenly remembers. He has a distress beacon. When activated, it uses satellites to alert rescue services and pinpoint his location.
I'm thinking, well, all I've got to do here is get that beacon activated, and there'll be people here within a couple of hours. The weather's clear, the choppers can fly, so I'm going to get out of here.
But Matt's search through his rucksack yields nothing. And he can't see the beacon anywhere around him.
And it slowly begins to dawn on me that this locator beacon isn't here. I haven't got it with me. I'm in big trouble.
He's left it on a shelf back at the shop. Matt's usually meticulous preparation has deserted him in his hour of need. Any hope of raising the alarm is now gone. And then an even more terrible thought hits him. No one back at his shop is due to raise the alarm for another week. He and little dog are on their own.
It's not going to be a case of an hour and a half. I'm actually going to have to keep myself alive for well over a week up on this exposed mountainside.
Matt's mountain experience tells him he has no chance without water and shelter. And he has neither.
I've got to get myself some shelter where I can get at water, where I can keep myself warm, where I can keep myself dry. We could have snow, we could have any sort of weather. I've got to start looking after myself.
But there's nothing in sight that could give him protection. His only option is to head downhill until he finds anywhere he can pitch his tent. As each tiny movement triggers daggers of pain, Matt faces up to the prospect of what lies ahead of him.
It's not a case of gritting your teeth and overcoming it. You know it's going to hurt, and you know it's going to be hard.
As Matt begins to drag his open wound and smashed limbs across rock and dirt, he knows he's beginning a journey through hell. But even the slightest contact with his broken bones is agonizing.
It'd be nice to scramble on my hands and knees, but I can't even use my hands because my wrist is broken. If I kept the weight off the broken bits, I was fine, but as soon as I tried to put the weight on my wrist or on my ankle, I get a wave of pain going up through my whole body.
Nightfall is just hours away, and temperatures are already falling. Matt knows he must find shelter for him and little dog, but when he tries to press on, the pain overwhelms him.
Every time I try and put any weight on my left leg, I can see my calf bone trying to exit through the skin on the side of my ankle.
Matt's tibia is no longer supported by his ankle, so there's nothing to stop it pushing directly through his skin and out of his leg. Finally, after an agonizing crawl over razor-sharp rocks, Matt, but with a smashed wrist, deeply cut leg, and worst of all, a fractured tibia, just standing up will push him to the limits of his endurance.
So I stood there for about 10 seconds. Sort of started to come over a bit dizzy. I sort of collapsed into a heap on the floor. It's like, well, now or never.
But Matt refuses to give up. Somehow he must dig deep.
The dog throughout all this was running ahead and loving it. She was so keen to get out there, probably as keen as I was.
Matt knows his terrible wounds will fight him all the way. The only help he's going to get is from the walking stick he's made from tent poles.
And I was counting paces. I was saying every number I count is one less pace I've got to take.
Another 10. Another 10.
It took a lot to keep going. It really did. Each time I put the weight on the ankle, you'd feel that bone trying to come out through the skin, and it was just a shot of pain right through my body.
Every step is blinding agony. while the morning's heat saps his strength further. His only plan is to stay close to water and keep moving down.
I was very cautious to stay right next to this creek. That was my lifeline.
Matt knows he's heading in the right direction for the hut, but by deciding to follow the creek, he soon hits a problem. He's faced with a choice between two possible routes. LD seems to be immediately keen on going right, but that path is steep and challenging. Matt decides to follow the much gentler downward slope.
Look! Oh, come on! Get in here! Trying to get me killed? Come on! Get out of it! Yeah. Howdy. Out of it.
Somehow, Matt keeps his body going, dragging his smashed ankle over uneven terrain for 2 hours. But just as he starts thinking he might get out, the mountain springs another surprise.
The mountainside got steeper and steeper until I found myself standing at the top of cliffs dropping off into nothing several hundred meters below. There was no way sideways, there was no way down. The only choice was back the way I'd come. And all the effort I'd put in to get down to where I was, it was going to be spent tenfold getting back up.
By ignoring Little Dog's choice of route, Matt has wasted hours, exacted a terrible toll on his body, and seriously depleted his energy supplies.
I physically could not walk with the injuries I had, so it was back onto elbows and knees. It was probably one of the lowest points. Just the frustration.
Give me a break!
Matt realizes he's past the point of no return, but his route is perilous. The deep infected gash in his leg has taken another brutal hit. If the bleeding starts again, he may not be able to stop it. Matt pushes himself to breaking point, but he knows he must keep going at all costs. Knowing it will take all his energy just to pitch his tent again, Matt decides to rest up for the night and regain his strength. For a 9th night, temperatures plunge below freezing. Little Dog's food ran out 2 days ago, and she's finding it harder to fight off the cold, yet she stays with her master.
We spent the night curled up, both of us at the bottom of the tent. Just knowing that there's this animal there, with you, sticking with me, is a reassuring thing. Kept me going emotionally, just the company of that dog there with me. The worst thing about waking up was those few moments of feeling that actually nothing was wrong. You wake up and your body feels normal. And then finding out that it's as bad as you remember it.
As another day dawns, Matt knows that he must reach the hunter's hut today, with hardly any food left, and his body close to collapse. He could die on the mountain, but to reach the hut, he'll have to get through the worst terrain he could imagine. Thick, mountainous scrub.
It looked like it was going to be very, very hard going. It was just a continuous process of forcing your way, almost swimming over the top of this vegetation. I was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
After 3 tortuous hours of struggle, Matt's dreadful injuries are taking their toll, and he's made hardly any progress.
Come on, you mad bum.
Seeing Little Dog negotiate the thick scrub so easily gives Matt an idea.
It got to the stage where there was no way of crawling over the top anymore. I was forced to squirm my way underneath.
After hours of gruesome effort and delirious with pain, Matt's made it through the worst of the brutal scrub.
And that was such a relief just to get out of that stuff and into this good going. I mean, I could stand up again and actually walk.
The hut can't be too far ahead now. But to reach it, Matt will have to force his broken limbs down a near vertical slope.
I was determined to reach the bottom of this slope.
Matt knows he's not going to be able to control his descent. Worse, the rocks and branches are going to punch and gouge his terrible wounds. It's a bloody gamble that could cripple him or kill him.
It was getting steeper, and so I was using whatever means I could.
Pushing his body to the extreme has paid off. Matt is now less than 2 kilometers from the hut. But getting to the valley floor has not come without tremendous cost.
I've done myself a lot of damage coming down this hill. My limbs are useless.
Matt can only hope the worst is behind him. The hut, and possible salvation, is tantalizingly close. But just as Matt finally allows himself to believe that he's made it, his dreams are brutally shattered. A fast, freezing river stands between him and the end of a nightmare.
That was so disheartening. It was so close, but unreachable, just out of reach.
Matt's body has already had to endure more than it can stand. And now, if he wants to live, he'll have to take his shattered bones and horrific wounds into the icy water.
Whether I could swim, whether I could propel myself was my real fear.
Matt makes his decision. He either dies on this bank or gambles his life in one last shot at surviving.
The water was absolutely freezing. All my muscles started to seize up.
Matt is quickly struggling. His weak, damaged body is no match for the fierce, freezing current. He has to fight the current or drown.
It wasn't what I needed. I was trying to swim a river with broken bones.
Matt knows that whether he lives or dies now depends entirely on the river, not on anything he can do.
I felt the main current begin to pull me, and it was dragging me over towards the far bank of the river.
Frozen and horribly maimed, Matt's washed up on shore barely alive. he's had a miraculous escape.
Every muscle in my body had seized. Everything had just stopped working.
Go on, Howdy.
Very, very, very hard going, just even to move up the riverbank and away from the river. Very hard.
9 days after he was injured, Matt can see the hut. But he finally has to accept that he's probably going to die before he reaches it.
Cheers, LD.
I remember just thinking I might not have very long left here.
It's you and me, boy.
I could not have seen a more beautiful sight than that hunter walking out of that hut.
I got you, mate. I got you. Oh, lie down, eh?
And that's the moment I know I'm getting out of here. And I can't describe as good a moment as that. I was safe. It was relief. It was joy.
After patching him up as best they can, Matt's rescuers head off on a 13-hour trek to raise the alarm. 12 days after he started his journey, Matt is airlifted to the hospital, where doctors save his leg and rebuild his shattered ankle and wrist with metal pins. 6 months after his horrific experience, Matt is back in the mountains with little dog.
The experience has made me realise what I value in life and what I don't. Having got out, you appreciate those companions that you had through life so much more.